Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to another tutorial on Animate CC 2020. In this tutorial, we are going to focus on the Motion Tween technique. In the previous video, that we discovered three different methods to add animations using Adobe Animate CC, which was the Classic Tween, which is the oldest one, and then the Motion Tween and Shape Tween. So, as I said, today we are gonna focus on the Motion Tween. To demonstrate the Motion Tween, we are gonna use library items that I already imported in advance. So I'm gonna start by adding this rocket symbol into my stage, and I'm gonna change the layer to rocket. I'm gonna have another layer basically and called rocket, and this is going to be edited rocket edit. I'm gonna make it above, so this is going to be my rocket. I'm gonna edit, and then I'm gonna add another symbol to the second rocket, or to the second layer, sorry. First of all, I'm gonna go to the properties and make them start exactly from the same position, which is 30 in this case. Okay, let me just make this 30 and make this 30. I have to make them one by one, no problem, no issues. Then I'm gonna just change the Y for this to 100, and I'm gonna change the Y to this to 550. Anyway, we're gonna tell you why in later on. So I'm gonna apply Motion Tween to both rockets. I'm gonna just zoom this. I'm gonna right click, class Motion Tween, sorry, and I'm gonna disappears. I guess you know why, because when we added a Motion Tween by default, Animate will add 1 second. So this is 1 second. Since we have no frames here, we are not going to see the second rocket, so don't worry, we're going to just select this and add a Motion Tween as well, and they're going to be available here, both of them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select them, and then I'm going to move them to that side, okay, around 1000. Okay, you can just write 1000 if you want. Okay, they're going to be moving together, exactly the same thing, just one above and one below. You see, if you think this is fast, you can slow them down, and this is lead us to the first thing that we're going to discuss regarding the Motion Tween. As I said before, Motion Tween is going to create keyframes for you automatically. Now, what if you want to extend or stretch the animation to make it 2 seconds? Okay, there is an easy way to do this. You just need to do click and drag to 2 seconds, and you see the animation is going to be stretched, even if you have keyframes in here. Okay, but what if you want to add frames without stretching the animation? You can simply press F5 here, or you can press shift and hold, then move this same way that you did for the above layer, but you should hold shift, and this is going to add or extend your visibility without changing or without stretching the keyframes. Okay, so now we have these two animations. Now if you want them both to animate to the same, exactly the same thing, identically, you just need to move the keyframe, and we learned this in earlier lectures, and this is how to move a keyframe. And now we are moving them. We're going to press enter or space like After Effects, and they're going to move. Now what can we do with the Motion Tween? Basically, when you click the symbol that you applied Motion Tween to, remember it should be a symbol, you have access to this shape. As you can see, when you have the selection tool active, you can simply click and drag to alter or to change, modify your shape. Okay, you can click here to change it. You can do a change to the shape just like you are playing around with the pen tool. And if you go and select the Subselection Tool, you can click any of the vertices. Here we have 2 vertices, which represents 2 keyframes, and then we can change them like that. You can change their handles to create a different shape than you want to use, and in some applications they call this spatial interpolation or keyframe spatial interpolation. Okay, I'm gonna just undo to get back to the normal one. Then this is what you can do here. Now if you use the pen tool, can you add a point here? You cannot. The current selection layer rocket edit is a tween span which does not support drawing. So what if I want to add a point here to draw or to change the shape even more? In this case, you have to go whatever you want and press F6. And remember, by pressing F6, as explained in the previous video, you are basically adding all the keyframes, which means position, scale, skew, rotation, color effects, filter, all is for F6. If you want to add only position, you go and select only position, okay? But most cases, we are gonna just stick to F6, and you see now, you can go to the subselection tool, you click this, and then you move it. Now it is sharp edges, linear vertex. We can go here right now and just drag to change it to a Bezier or an auto Bezier in this case. Okay, sorry, not auto Bezier, continuous Bezier, because auto Bezier is going to be handled by the software. Now you are handling it, but since the handles are moved together, this is continuous Bezier. If you want to move a handle separately, then you are gonna use, or you're gonna apply the Bezier itself, and this happens when you press Alt and hold, you see. Okay, so again I'm gonna undo. I don't need this point in the middle. It was just to demonstrate the idea. So this was the first point. You can add points, you can control them just like you control any path, but you cannot draw. You cannot add points using the add point from here, using the pen tool, add anchor point, because this is an animation. If you want to add points, you should add keyframes. Okay, I'm going back here to the selection tool. Now, can we change the speed of the animation? Let me see. Sure, you can change. You can, in other words, ease it in or ease it out. But before we ease in and ease out, I just need to do something here. I'm gonna just change the endpoint to be here, and then I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna show you why. Okay, when we play this, you see the rocket is not following the path. It's not rotating along with the path, so you can do this easily. And from the same place, we are going to change the speed of the animation, or we're going to ease it in or ease it out. I will first of all click the shape. You see, when you click the shape, you have, and you are on the properties panel, frame tab, you can just check this, which is orient to path. Okay, when you click this, you will notice that you're going to have many points here, because it's almost now frame by frame animation. This is going to make the rocket or the symbol in general rotate along the path. So again, you click the path and you just check orient along or orient to path. So I'm gonna just uncheck this. I'm gonna undo all these things just to go back to my original state. Now when you click the path as well, I want you to focus on one very important thing. I'm going to zoom in so you can see it even clearly. I'm going to just decrease this. Can I do this? It seems though I cannot. Anyway, no problem. I'm going to click it so you can see. You see these points are evenly distributed because it's constant speed movement right now. But basically, if you click the path and you go here to the easing, you can change this behavior. If you make it -100, you see you're gonna have a denser points here. They're gonna be very close to each other, which means slow down. Okay, this is gonna be ease in. You see the word here, ease in. It means you're gonna slowly move and build speed towards the end. If you change it to +100, it's gonna be exactly the opposite behavior. You're gonna ease out. You're gonna move very fast and then drop speed as you go. Okay, you see here I'm gonna now fit in window so you can see them all clearly. I was selecting this rocket, no problem, you can use with either one. So this is gonna be ease out. I'm gonna make this ease in so you see the difference. Okay, so this is -100 and this is +100. You have to click the path, remember, to see these options. Now when you play, you're gonna see the difference. Okay, let me test the movie. So it's gonna repeat and you're gonna see it. Slow, fast, faster, slow, fastly, and then eventually they're gonna end at the same time, almost at the same time. But the the one above, it's gonna start, it is starting very slow and then building speed, which means accelerate. The other one is starting very fast and then decelerate. Okay, this is one way to add easing, just normal easing to our path animation. Okay, you can, of course, if you want, also rotate the your symbols along the path. As you can see here, I'm going to click this and I'm going to just clockwise it one count. You see here, it's going to rotate along the path. I'm going to click this and I'm going to change it to counterclockwise, and you see here they're going to just change or rotate along the path. Okay, this is also if you want to add rotation to your path, you can change the angle if you don't want it to be one cycle. Okay, so now we explained how to add a motion tween, how you can edit the path, and how you make it orient to the path, I mean the symbol, and then to apply easing. Now if you didn't like this rocket and you wanted to add another symbol instead of the rocket, you don't need to create or to redo the animation again. You can click the symbol, just click it here on the stage, and then you go to your library, select the alien. For example, you want to move this alien instead of the rocket, and then you just move it over, and Animate will ask you, do you wish to replace the existing tween target object? So we're gonna replace the rocket with the alien, keeping everything else intact. You see, directly like this. Now my alien, or the alien, is moving instead of the rocket. So this is a very easy way if you want to swap objects. If you want to start animation and you don't have enough time and you want to start, and let's say your design team didn't provide you with the symbols, you can start with a simple symbol like a circle, a box, or anything, and then you swap it. And this is usually not going to be the case, especially in companies, because you should be ready with the designs before you do the animation. But just in case, in your case as students, you wanted to start the animation and you didn't decide yet about the shapes or the designs, you can do this if you want. Okay, and anyway, it is a very useful tool, not only for this reason. If you change mind, if you change the design, if you want another rocket, okay, another rocket design, you can do this easily. The last topic here, which is very important, and we're going to be discussing regarding motion tween, which is only available with motion tween. You will not find it if you apply a classic tween. Is going to be, I'm going to lock this now, I'm going to hide it, I don't need to see it, and basically I'm going to delete it so I can focus on this. I'm going to just click this, and okay, let me just go to the path again, click this none, and I'm going to make this 0 because I'm going to change it using my refine path issue. My refine path technique, not issue. So let's just change the X to reach here, or 1100. Okay, now to access the refine motion and Adobe Animate CC 2020, you either double click your motion tween, or you right click and select refine motion tween, or click again to hide refine motion tween. So I'm gonna refine motion tween. As you can see here, I'm gonna zoom in a little bit so you can see it clearly. I'm gonna zoom out. Okay, I can zoom in then later on here so you can see it, because we have only one object. As you can see, so far I have only the location keyframes added, and I have X and Y, and as you can see here, the Y is straight because the value of Y, which is here, it's not changed. You see, when you click, we have the value of Y here, which is 100. We didn't change it. Okay, but if you do a slight change to the Y, this is going to affect what we will see here. Okay, you see it's changed now from one value to another value. I'm going to undo. Let me undo, and then you see it returns to straight again. So when you have a change, it means the value changes. So as you can see here, the X value is changing from 100 all the way to 100 to 1100. You see here, all the way to that value. You don't really need to worry about these values a lot. But basically here in this curve, what can I do? I can add eases, okay, or I can change the curve itself. You see now, if I do this, if I click here, I will be able to add anchor points, and when I add anchor point here, you see it's just like adding a keyframe here, and then you can change it. Just need to move this a little bit away, and then you can change or move your keyframe. Okay, and this keyframe, basically you are changing the speed of your animation. You see it's gonna start fast and then it's gonna slow down all the way to the round, to the end. Okay, so you can change this curve using this tool here. We see add anchor point on a graph. So on a graph, yeah, this graph is for basically animation speed. I'm gonna undo this and I'm gonna apply eases now. You remember we applied eases from here when you click the path, but there is another way to add it, which is from here. I can select, you see I can say no ease, sorry, I have no ease at all, or I can select simple ease, slow, fast, fasted. Of course this path represents this. You see the fastest is gonna move very fast and then it's gonna slow down and then fast, a little bit slower, medium, it's okay, slow, it's slow easing. Let's go for the fastest so you can see the effect. I'm gonna click here. You see it's going, you see the points, basically you can see the ease effect. The points are very far from each other, not like this, they are very close to each other, so when you click or when you play they're going to be very fast and then you can slow down. Okay, and this is what you all will do. When you click here, you see this is 50 easing, you can increase it to 100, it's going to be either even more, or you can decrease it to -100, it's going to be ease out, sorry, ease in. -100 is going to be ease in, minus is going to be ease out. So you can play around with the value just like you used to do there. You see here it's going to start slow and then it builds speed over distance, sorry, over time. Okay, you can apply other things, basically not only simple ease, you can apply other ease types, you can play around with them, practice them all and check what they do. For example, the stop and the start here, you can just make it slow, or we're gonna just make it, sorry, not medium fast, so you can see what's the effect of this. You see it's gonna move and then it's gonna almost slow and then it's gonna move again. You see here it's in the middle where you're gonna have the slow down. So I'm gonna move fast and then slow down a little bit and then move fast again. Let's see it. Fast, slow down, and then fast. This is what we mean by start, what they mean by start and stop, or stop and start. And again, you can change the effect to be 100. In this case, it's going to be very fast and then almost stops, not almost stops, and then it's going to be like this. Or you can reverse the effect and make it like this. Okay? It's going to start very slow and then builds very fast and then very slow. You are free to use whatever ease type you want to here. You can apply a great deal of flexibility. You can have, sorry, a great deal of flexibility working with this. And even if you don't like any one of those, you can just use the custom ease and then now you can click and start doing your own eases as you want. Okay, you can just create something random like this and then you see here you're gonna start and then you go back. Why we are going back? Because we are going down. As you can see here, when you go down it means you are going backward. Okay, and then we are going backward and then we're gonna go forward. You see when you go higher it means you are gonna go near the end point. This is slow, this is not high enough to go to the end point. Remember the X, we started from 100 to 1100, so here we reached only 600, which is at this point, and here we reached almost 1000, and then we go back and then we go back all the way to the end. So anyway, you can play around with it, practice it, and as I said, it is only applied to location so far, but you can just click here. You see in the middle, somewhere in the middle, this is the middle, 1 second, I'm gonna insert a keyframe, and this keyframe is gonna be for the rotation, for example. You see now you have another transform, not location, which is called rotation, which you have as a Z rotation for here because you don't have 3D yet. So now you can do what? You can just change the rotation. I'm gonna click, let me go here, I'm gonna change the value to 90%, sorry, 90 degrees. Okay, you see here we're gonna just change it from 0 to 90 and then we're gonna stick to 90 unless you go here and change this rotation to 0 again. Okay, you might wonder, but wait a minute, we didn't add the rotation keyframe here. How come it works? First of all, any change over time will record. Second, when you changed, as I said, by default it's going to add all the keyframes, unless like this, when you right click, insert only for rotation. Okay, so it's going to be like this and like this. And also you can apply eases for rotation as well. You can click here and you say I want a fast ease to rotation. You see the curve is going to change. And anyway, this can be more complex, more crowded, so you need to practice slowly, and you practice with one property at a time, and then you add a property just like I did here, and then over time, practice, as we always say, practice makes perfect. You are gonna master the use of the refined motion or the graph editor, like other programs, name it. Okay, including Animate CC or Flash Professional, the older versions. Okay, so one more thing, and we finish this tutorial, is in Animate you can apply or you can add motion. You can use motion presets to add a motion preset for your object. So I'm going to create a new layer here. Again, I'm going to just go to the library and add my alien. It's going to be here above in another layer. I'm going to lock this, so I'm not going to affect this. I'm going to hide it. No need to see it anymore. So from here you see you have a motion preset, and you have not plenty, but many motion presets that you can work with. I'm gonna start with the Bones 3D. Since you have this selected, you can click this and apply it. Okay, in order to apply a motion preset, you need to select an object on the stage. I already did select an object, but it seems that I was not on the keyframe. I will go here and apply. You see, you should be on the keyframe, and now you have this. You're gonna move, and there is squash and stretch with it. And anyway, this is a bouncing ball. You see the motion preset extend the timeline automatically, and I'm gonna go back to the beginning and then play. You see it's gonna be bouncing ball animation. You can move these values if you want anyway, and you can refine the animation. And you see, this is what I was telling you. If you have many objects, many keyframes, we are here using here X and Y scaling, locations in all directions, and then you are gonna have all these things. Again, don't panic. You just need to focus on one at a time, and then you're gonna master them easily. Okay, and this is one of the motion presets that you can apply. You can apply other motion presets if you want. I'm gonna undo. Let me undo, and then let me just delete this object. I'm gonna add the rocket. It's easier to handle because it doesn't have a lot of things inside it. We're gonna go here and let's fly in blur left. You see, I'm gonna just apply it, double click. Sorry, let's just apply. Apply the different one. This one. You see, it's gonna be like this. Again, this is a good way to stretch. Just drag. You see, this is blurry. You can do this animation yourself by adding a blur effect, and then you're reducing it all the way to the end, and then you make this ease very slow and then fast and then very slow. I hope you joined this video, students. Thank you very much, and we're gonna see you in next tutorials, inshallah. Have a nice day.